Let's just go ahead and add you Bitcoin people to the mix. You're stupid.
So in 2014, Dave Ramsey called people stupid for buying Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was $549. If you forgot, let's take a look.
Go ahead and, I got all you Iraqi dinar people and all you gold people all pissed off at me. So let's just go ahead and add you Bitcoin people to the mix. You're stupid. You're going to lose your money. Be pissed at me. You shouldn't have put money in something wacko like that.
All right, so yep, that was February 2014. Bitcoin was $549. Calling people stupid. Now, to be fair, the Iraqi dinar has done nothing. Funny story, in 2011, I was told to buy dinars, and I did, about like $3,000, which back in 2011 was a lot of money for me. And I lost. I think I just sold it for a loss, Should have bought Bitcoin in 2011. Oops. So Dave was wrong there. But here we have George Camel, I believe his name is, and he works for Ramsey Solutions. And this is a 3-minute video. Someone asked a question about, should I have Bitcoin now? Bitcoin has been doing great. Should I have Bitcoin now? And thankfully, they changed their tune. And honestly, they need to change their tune, because calling people stupid for having Bitcoin now just doesn't make sense, because every single bank is buying Bitcoin, right? So he does compare it with a single stock. He does compare Bitcoin with a tech stock, which again is just outdated thinking, and that will change, but at least it's progress. And he says to make sure to diversify. So yeah, you could diversify. There are some Bitcoin crazies that have 100% of their net worth in Bitcoin, but man, what a shift in 11 years from calling people stupid idiots to, yeah, you can have some, just make sure to diversify. So at least that's good. Here, there's a video from the Alaskan Congressman Representative Nick Begich saying that the U.S. will be buying up to 1 million Bitcoin, and he lays it out.
Of up to 1 million Bitcoin, or roughly 5% of its total final supply over 5 years.
And he lays out exactly how they're going to do that. They can sell gold or reprice gold. They can do so in a way that won't impact the taxpayer, etc. So that's very cool. And that leads me right to this story. So this is Bitwise saying that ETFs, corporations, and governments, they're going to be buying more than 1 million Bitcoin this year. Let's take a look.
So last year, ETFs bought 500,000 Bitcoin. Again, remember, the Bitcoin network only produced 165,000 Bitcoin. So it bought 3 times the total supply. Corporations bought 250,000 Bitcoin. Governments, I think this year could buy a couple 100,000 Bitcoin. So I think if you look at those 3 sources, I think they'll buy more than 1 million Bitcoin this year. And where is it going to come from? The only place it can come from is people who already hold Bitcoin. The only way they will sell is if the price goes up. That's why I'm so bullish on the market.
Sorry, government? Which branch of the government?
Look, the U.S. already established a strategic Bitcoin reserve, right? It already holds $17 billion in Bitcoin. And the executive order from President Trump told the Secretary of Commerce and the Secretary of Treasury to figure out ways to acquire more Bitcoin without impacting the tax holder. How could they do that? They could sell some of the gold that the U.S. has. They could sell other crypto assets that the U.S. has and plow that into Bitcoin. I think we're going to see that happen this year. I think the U.S. is going to increase, and not just the U.S. We found out that Abu Dhabi bought $500 million of Bitcoin. We've gotten calls from multiple other governments that are investigating Bitcoin. I think you're going to see 10, maybe more governments around the world make their first allocation to Bitcoin this year.
So that's huge. 10 or more governments making their first allocation to Bitcoin. And he thinks that more than 1 million Bitcoin will be purchased this year. Now, this doesn't even have to do with the U.S. buying 1 million, because I believe that would be over a 5-year period if it goes with that proposal. But the only way, as he says, the only way for institutions and governments and ETFs to buy 1 million Bitcoin is by essentially extracting it or having individuals like yourself or myself sell it to them, right? And I want to look at this really quick. This shows exactly what he's talking about. Businesses are the largest net buyer of Bitcoin so far this year. So the change in Bitcoin ownership. This year, businesses acquired 157,000 Bitcoin, and individuals lost or sold, not lost, they sold 247,000 Bitcoin. So we're seeing, and this is unfortunate, and this actually makes me kind of upset, to be honest, individuals are paper handing their Bitcoin, selling it to institutions and businesses and governments. And that sucks. in my opinion, because I want the people to win. I don't want BlackRock and the massive corporations to own all the Bitcoin. I want the people to own the Bitcoin and then sell it to them maybe at $10 million or $1 million, or pick a number that's life-changing, right? So that's what he's talking about, right? This is showing that, again, institutions, governments, they're the ones that are the buyers. So this is Howard Lutnick's son, I believe, and he's the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's his son. He's saying that even if Bitcoin tanks 50%, they're still buying, which is huge.
The beauty of Cantor is that when we're committed to something, we're committed to something. I think if, God forbid, Bitcoin tanked tomorrow 50%, a lot of our competitors and a lot of, the classic TradFi Wall Street guys would run away. That's definitely not what we're going to do.
Yeah, and they have a massive, massive, massive bankroll, billions of dollars they could deploy into Bitcoin. Here we have Mr. Clean, Brian Armstrong, saying that he's calling on Congress to pass a crypto stablecoin legislation. So this is huge. Let's just take a look at what he has to say.
I'm here in D.C. today trying to help get legislation passed for crypto. There's a big vote for the stablecoin bill coming up hopefully tomorrow. That's going to be a big important one. And then we're going to move on to market structure legislation, which is even more important. We've been meeting with members of the Senate on both sides of the House, and there's a lot of good excitement about getting this done. Like any good negotiation, there's a lot of details to work out at the last minute, but we've been stressing the urgency of this. There's 52 million Americans who want to see this legislation get passed, and we need to make sure the industry stays on shore here in America.
All right, so there is a lot of legislation, again, about making sure that America stays the leader for crypto and Bitcoin and digital assets, which is what Donald Trump has said again and again and again. So we'll see if this gets passed. We'll see if, geriatric 80-year-olds are going to be like, no, we don't want stable coins. They're evil. I don't know what they're going to say, but we'll see what happens. This is very important for not just the US, but the entire world. I mean, if they limit stable coins, what that does is it limits people from getting access into the crypto universe. If you have stable coins, if, say, Meta, like I talked about in a previous video, Meta, Facebook, is paying its influencers on Instagram and Facebook in stable coins, they're going to get those stable coins and be like, oh, I have a wallet with stable coins. Oh, wow, I can swap that directly into Bitcoin or, Ethereum or Solana. Like, that's really good for the space. And last one from Brian Armstrong. Let's take a look.
Well, we see crypto as a technology to update the financial system, and that means everybody is going to have to add crypto technology. It's kind of like when the internet first came around, and first you had .com companies, but eventually every company was using the internet. So we're really supportive, and we see that every bank, every fintech, every traditional brokerage, they're going to start adding crypto products.
Every bank, fintech, and brokerage will be adding crypto projects. Now, yeah, he's talking a lot about stablecoin rails, but I think what he's also talking about is every bank, fintech company, and brokerage will be offering Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and other large layer ones to their clients. We are done with this, oh, we see that you're buying Bitcoin, we're going to limit your account. That just happened a few years ago. People were getting their bank accounts shut down if they were involved in crypto. Operation Choke Point 2.0. You guys have heard about it. This is now coming to a close. So it's very exciting what's going to happen. I'm really hoping that this legislation does get approved and that we see a lot more innovation be allowed to flourish inside of the United States and also the world. So we'll see what happens, guys. That's it for this short video. Just wanted to make this for you guys just to give you guys some bullish updates from the last 24 hours or so. Thank gosh Dave Ramsey is not, we haven't heard it from his mouth, but at least somebody on his team is like, no, Bitcoin belongs in a portfolio, right? Thank goodness, guys. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.